All right, 10 minutes. Gone past the hour of 10, still on the AM side. This beautiful Friday morning. I was about to say Thursday morning, but it is Friday morning. Thank God it's weekend. Thank God it's Friday. And this is the General Open Banter. That's right. My name is Ilomo Peace Osemere, and the General Open Banter today is going to be an abridged show because we've got bills to pay at exactly 10:30 a.m. So let's see, the most we can do with the little time frame that we have, right? And on the General Open Banter today, we're going to be looking at a very topical issue. Yes, it is topical, and it's one that actually bothers in our social life and status in our society. I feel personally that this should actually resonate mostly with women, but of course, the men are not left out of the conversation because you are also involved as far as this conversation is concerned. Do women suddenly realize their potentials after a divorce? It's a big question, right? But I'd like to repeat it. Do women suddenly realize their potentials after a divorce? Now, that's the big question I'm asking on the General Open Banter today. And this is for obvious reasons because I personally had to sit back and take a look at the progression of events, in the lives of a number of female celebrities that got married and eventually got divorced. And it's more like they actually picked up in such a way that no one had actually expected them to. They are doing well for themselves. And I don't know, a submission or a conclusion from the whole scenario for me was that could it be that maybe marriage brings more of bad luck as opposed to you excelling as a woman? Maybe it favors the men more than the women. I really don't know, but I'm just a bit confused in thoughts, and I just feel we should talk about this really now. It is really important for us to understand that each and everyone is entitled to their opinions, and this is not a universal experience where as a lady you get married and when you get divorced, you tend to realize your full potential or potentials, as it were. As a woman, it's not really the case with everyone. Every woman's journey, marital journey, divorce process is unique, and we know, of course, that divorce can be a very challenging and emotional experience. I'm sure it's something you don't even want to, want to happen to your enemy. That's if you have one. Now, while every individual's experience is unique, research suggests that many women do experience a surge in self-discovery and empowerment after a after a divorce. Do you think it's true? Have you observed the same or not? Well, the self discovery and empowerment that some women, right, or many women do experience after a divorce can be attributed to so many or several factors, if you like to put it that way. Now, divorce can actually maybe liberate women from relationships that may have gagged their personal growth or stifled their personal growth. And maybe when the divorce eventually happens, it allows them to explore their interests and passions. But I'm just wondering again, is it that when you're married, you are really not free to explore your interests and the things that you're passionate about? Okay, now that's one point. So basically, it's somewhat of a freedom from restrictive relationships. Quite all right. There are men who would want to tell their wives the moment they wife them up, oh, look, I am married, you are my wife now, and I have every right to decide where you would work, what you would do, and what not to do, where to go, and where not to go. So it's a little bit of restriction, and could be for the good or the not so good reason, whatever it is. Another point would be that women, they tend to see a surge in self-discovery and empowerment after a divorce based on the women now, the ones involved, they will now resolve to take care of themselves even more, and maybe their children, if there are any involved in the process, independently. And maybe that could actually foster a sense of self-confidence and self-worth. But is there really anything like that? You get married, you have kids in the process, and then you get divorced. You are now left alone to cater for the needs of these kids. Does that translate to self confidence and self worth? I don't know. But maybe at that point in time, you tend to be more responsible because you now realize that it is you and you alone in that relationship. You have to take care of yourself. You have to take care of your kids because it is believed that the kids are so dear to your heart. So maybe, just maybe, it brings about some self reliance and self confidence and self worth. Another point I personally think would be the fact that when you get divorced, it brings about new opportunities and challenges. And I've really, really noticed this about some or most female celebrities in Nigeria who got divorced and how they've actually picked up in their career, financially, and what have you. More like new opportunities get opened up, onto them. Now, divorce can actually prompt women to pursue new careers, hobbies, and educational pursuits, leading to a greater sense of purpose and fulfillment. I really would have loved to highlight or mention a few names, but of course, I think I would just have to do that. On the list, in no particular order, we've seen the Mayul Edoche, even though the divorce process, some say, is still ongoing, but it's been a very complicated one, honestly. Mayul Edoche, for example, she's been doing well for herself ever since, it was made public that because her husband actually took in another wife or impregnated another woman, she decided to, like, maybe take a walk, especially because she was not even aware of the whole thing. Like, she found out on social media. Now, if you take a look at Mayo Ledoche's net worth now, it is completely different from what it used to be when she was like the official wife of Yul Edoche. So what does that tell you really? That, oh, when you get divorced, you tend to step out of your comfort zone. So maybe marriage is a comfort zone for some ladies, all right? I'll leave it there for the case of Mayo Ledoche, okay? And now we've seen Toke Makinwa, right? She is a media personality. We know, of course, that she has actually recounted over time the experiences she actually had, whilst she was married to her ex-husband now. And now she seems to have picked up really quickly, just like that, career-wise, financially, and she's got more recognition nationally and internationally, whether you like it or not. So does it really mean now that marriage is somewhat of a comfort zone? And there is a saying that a comfort zone is indeed a beautiful place, but nothing good grows there. So maybe you should step out of your comfort zone. Don't forget we're having a conversation now, right? Another celebrity that we also have on the line is wife to one of the P Square brothers. She, in fact, shortly after the whole divorce process, shortly after it was made public and all of that, she decided to go back to school. She bagged, a degree. And people were like, oh, yes, it's not time for you to do you. It's not time for the world to know the stuff you're made of and what have you. So these are just few celebrities, just to mention a few. Really, the list is really very long, but I might not really be able to pick, each and every one of them because of time. Let's not also forget, Nollywood actress Ini Edo, for example. She seems to be doing she's obviously doing very well. Chika Ike as well, even though she recently gave birth and we really do not know who the baby papa is. But should that really be a headache at this point in time? I guess it shouldn't be a headache. But take a look at the lifestyle of these women, like how the journey has been so far for these women without mincing words. And if you would be very realistic, won't you just, submit that these women are doing better off as divorcees as opposed to when they were married? And please, let's not get it twisted. No one is here to encourage you to leave your marriage probably because you will do well or do better outside the marriage. We're just saying that it's just an observation, and a research also is suggesting, the same, that many women do experience a surge in self-discovery and empowerment after divorce. Why is that? You can call in now to share your 2 cents. I think we have less than 10 minutes to see if we can have a conversation, myself and you on the other side of the radio. Call us on 0908766888888 or 09073530044. You can send a voice note or a message to the WhatsApp portal number on 09097054 and 50. So as a woman who's, probably divorced, right, it's really nothing, it's not something we should really celebrate now. But some women will say that, oh, I almost lost my life in the process, so it's better I got divorced. Let me live alive as opposed to my family people coming to take my cups. So, would you really say that women, they suddenly realize their potentials after a divorce? And how would you even react to the list of female celebrities that we've seen, get divorced, from their partners, and also a very controversial, separation or divorce process, can be traced to, she's not an American, by the way, Nigerian American singer and dancing princess, according to her, Coral BD. We also how messy the whole process was, and up until this moment, it appears, her ex is still, throwing banters here and there because they're actually sharing custody. Talking about the kids now, but at the end of it, it's more like Coral BD. She's been able to carve a niche for herself somewhat, knowing that she's now alone and she's now more aware, so to say, and she's now more intentional about her craft, her career, her financial goals, and what have you. So it leaves one with so many questions. Could it be? Could it not be? Where do you stand on this? What are your thoughts? Have you personally observed? What would you say about this? Now, I'm seeing comments already on the Facebook page. I would like to start off with this one. Suleiman Jibril, he says, "Hi, Jagimbia, aka the Radio Princess. Oh, good morning to you." He says, "Watching you live from Magaman, Gumau, Toro local government area of Bauchi State. You just have to forgive me if I didn't get that correctly." He says, "Today is the naming ceremony of his newborn baby boy. Oh, congratulations." And according to him, he named this boy Ibrahim, and the same name of his elder brother. Okay, thank you so much, and congratulations to you, Suleiman Dan Fulani from National Assembly Quarters, but right now in Bauchi State. Thank you, and it's good to share in your happy moment. Also, Francis Namani, watching live from Magunze in Enugu State, says, "The power of every woman lies under their husbands. Naturally and biblically or biblically, men are the head of the family." But no one is actually disputing that. But what we are saying is, or the question we are asking is, do women suddenly realize their potentials after a divorce? That's the question we're asking. So let's hear from you. Maybe your thoughts are different or your observations are maybe different from mine, right? So 09073530044 or 09087668888. Send a voice note or a message to the WhatsApp auto number on 0909-705-44 and 50. The conversation is live on YouTube and Facebook. You might as well go right onto these platforms, watch the show, and leave a comment. I really would be very glad, more than glad, as a matter of fact, to acknowledge your thoughts. And quite frankly, I think we must also, note that there are women who actually they've undergone the divorce process and they're not doing, better off as singles or divorcees, right? So it's not to say that it's a known fact, but we're just saying that a large percentage of women, especially the celebrities, they tend to do well, especially after a divorce. Why is that? You see some of them, they want to delve into businesses, they want to go back to school to bag degrees, awards, and all of that. More like they're all out to chase the bag and make more money. But is it that when you're married, you get restricted, or you just lazy around and you just throw in the towel like, oh, after I'm married, that's the end of life for you? You just forget about yourself. The little things that actually gives you joy, the little things you're passionate about, you just dump them and maybe focus solely on your marriage. Could that really be the case? And then at the end of it, God forbid, when one gets divorced, they want to go all out, to realize, their full potentials. So that's just basically what the conversation is all about right here on the general open banter. And as a man, have you also noticed this trend? What are your thoughts? As a woman, as a young lady planning on getting married, what exactly comes to mind looking at the progression of events and the trend where women, I mean, they get divorced and they're all out buying mansions, buying cars. Not really to say that someone is bankrolling the other, but maybe they tend to be more hardworking after the divorce process. Could it be reality setting in for them, and that's why they go all out to hustle, even harder than they did when they were married, or not? I know the questions are actually many, but um, let's see. Let's see, really. Let's see. And it really it breaks my heart that we're having an abridged show on the General Open Banter today. But I definitely would come back to this, conversation hopefully next week, because I think we really need to get answers to some of the questions, bothering my mind, and maybe some other people out there. Now, Samia from Kuje, thank you so much. It says, greetings to you, my sister, Princess Adezo Moife. Thank you so much. It says, divorce can be a challenging and transformative experience for women. While it may bring a significant emotional and financial stress, many women also report experiencing personal growth, empowerment, and renewed purpose after divorce. Now, some common aspects of recovery and empowerment for women after divorce include increased independence. So women may develop greater self-sufficiency and confidence in managing their lives, finances, and families. Yep. Another thing Samuel says is the fact that they tend to rediscover, their identity. So divorce can actually prompt women to re-examine their values, interests, and goals, leading to a stronger sense of self and purpose. Another one is improved mental and physical health. Women may prioritize, I beg your pardon, their well-being, engage in self-care activities, and develop healthier habits. New social connections and community. Absolutely. Women may form new friendships, join social groups, or pursue hobbies, expanding their social networks and support systems. You also look at the career development and financial stability too, healing and forgiveness, and a host of other things, really. That sense of liberation and freedom. Some women tend to feel very, very empowered to create a new life, follow their dreams, their passions, and live more authentically. So, for Samuel, these are his observations and contributions, to the topic we are looking at on the General Open Banter. Hello, good morning to you.
Morning, sir.
Good morning. What's your name? What's your name and where you're calling from?
Sir.
Very well, thank you. What is your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Brother Teka. I'm calling for Zuba.
Brother Teka. Is it Teka or Tega?
Yes. Teka, Teka,
Okay. All right. Let's hear from you.
Problem again. I hear from you, get advice from you people.
Could you please send a WhatsApp message? I'm sorry, we really cannot attend to that live on the show right now. Just send a WhatsApp message and we'll see what we can do, okay? Thank you very much, Brother Teka.
I know get WhatsApp. Wait, send a message for
okay,
you.
Just send a message. Send a message to 0909 705 4450. All right?
Sorry, I know right now. Wait, 090
9705
9705
4450.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Brother Tika. All right. Sanusi from Suleja just sent in a message. It says, you don't value what you have until you tend to lose it, or until you lose it. Sanusi, thank you so much. But that actually speaks volumes. I think this your comment or message is pregnant. All right, we need to deliver it. But at the end of the day, really, looking at this trend, what comes to mind? Like I said before, I definitely would revisit this conversation. And the reason why we cannot really have a field day on this show is because we've got bills to pay in less than a minute. So I'll just leave it here. But thank you regardless for listening and also contributing. And the calls still coming in. I'm sorry, I cannot take your calls right now. Maybe next week we might just have to reschedule this conversation for some time next week. Thank you all so much. My name is Omoefe Peace Osemere. Good morning.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
It don't happen. Oh, hey! Bros, wetin happen? Now the new Inner City Land promo from My Abuja Home Limited, where they help small man. My Abuja Home is giving a 45% discount promo for their estate land at Giri. 45% discounted land promo for Giri? Which Giri? The same Giri you know in FCT Abuja. Wait first, the Giri that is 10 minutes from Abuja Airport? Yes. Giri when are 20 minutes from Abuja Town? Yes. That has the Army Barrack, Police Housing Estate, Immigration Office? Yes. The same Giri that is opposite University of Abuja Staff Quarters? Exactly. For the Inner City promo, My Abuja Home Limited is selling 300 square meters plot for 2.8 million naira. Sure. 500 square meter plot for 3.5 million naira. Oh my God. You can even pay in installments. Pay small. These prices are very affordable. Polo, give me their number, beg. Just call 080-888-37426. That is 080-888-37426 or 080-827-23824. That is 080-827-23824. Or if you visit their website for www.myabujahome.com. So call now. This special promo offer is for a limited period only. So hurry. My Abuja Home. Live the life.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.